Hi friends, how are you? In this video we are going to learn about the rectus sheath. Okay, it is a aponeurotic sheath covering the rectus abdominis. It has two walls, anterior and posterior wall. First we learn about the features of anterior wall and next about the posterior wall. See here, anterior wall. It is complete, covering the muscle from end to end. It is firmly adherent to the tendinous intersections of the rectus muscle. Okay. Before continuing the topic, if anybody of you are following the BD Chaudasham, please open the abdomen and pelvis book and the page number is 229. Okay. Next about the posterior wall. It is incomplete, being deficient above the postal margin and below the arcuate line. It is free from the rectus muscle. Next, fusion of all the aponeuroses in the midline is called linea alba. Laterally, anterior and posterior walls extend till linea semilunaris, which extend from tip of ninth postal cartilage to pubic tubercle. Okay, we completed the features of anterior and posterior wall. Turn the page and see the figure 16.2. This is a sagittal section through the rectus sheath. If you observe the anterior wall of the rectus sheath, it is continuous and this forms a connection with the rectus abdominis through the tendinous intersections. When you observe the posterior wall of the rectus sheath, it is deficient above the costal cartilages and deficient below the arcuate line. Okay, this is about the anterior and posterior wall. When you come in for the formation of the rectus sheath, we divided this into three parts. Okay, first is above the costal margin, second between the costal margin and arcuate line, third below the arcuate line. First see above the costal margin how the anterior and posterior wall are formed. First, anterior wall. Anterior wall is formed by external oblique aponeurosis. Next, coming to the posterior wall. We already learned that posterior wall are above the costal margin and below the arcuate line it is deficient. Okay, that is given here. Posterior wall is deficient. And next, rectus muscle rests directly on 5th, 6th, 7th costal cartilages. For better understanding, see the figure 16.23a. Okay, here it is given. External oblique forms the anterior wall of rectus sheath. Below, that is posterior wall, it is deficient. Here the rectus abdominis muscle rests directly on the 5th, 6th and 7th costal cartilages. Okay, next coming to the between the postal margin and arcuate line, how the anterior and posterior wall formed. See here, before continuing this, I told you a point, okay? Internal oblique, okay? All know about the external oblique, internal oblique and transverse aponeurosis, okay? Transverse aponeurosis. First I am talking about the internal oblique. In between the costal margin and arcuate line, this internal oblique is divided into anterior and posterior lamina. Clear? Anterior and posterior lamina. Okay. Here between the costal margin and arcuate line, anterior wall is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis and anterior lamina of aponeurosis of internal oblique. Okay. These are the contents that form the anterior wall of rectus sheath between the costal margin and arcuate line. And next coming to the posterior line, already you understand what are the contents that form the posterior wall. Yes, you are right. Posterior lamina of aponeurosis of internal oblique and aponeurosis of transverse muscle. Clear guys? Next, midway between the umbilicus and pubic symphysis, posterior wall of rectus sheath ends in arcuate line or linea semicircularis or fold of Douglas. Fold of Douglas, that you have to remember that what? Arcuate line or linea semicircularis or fold of Douglas. The line is concave downwards. And next coming to below the arcuate line, how the anterior wall and posterior wall is formed. Here that you have to remember, here is posterior wall is deficient. Okay, clear? Next coming to the anterior wall. Upon neurosis of all the three flat muscles of the abdomen. What are the three flat muscles? External oblique, internal oblique, transverse abdominis. These are the three flat muscles of the abdomen. These three form the anterior wall of the arcuate line. Okay. Next, the posterior wall is deficient, and here this rectus muscle is rest on fascia transversalis. See the figure. If you observe the figure 16.23c, you can observe that external oblique is separate and internal oblique and transverse abdominis combined are fused. And if you see below, this rectus abdominis muscle is a rest on the fascia transversalis. And next coming to the contents. What are the muscles present in between these rectus abdominis and pyramidalis? Next coming to the arteries. Superficial epigastric artery, inferior epigastric artery. And next veins. Superior epigastric venae cumptentis, inferior epigastric venae cumptentis. And next coming to the nerves. Lower 5 intercostal nerves and subcostal nerves. Okay, that means terminal parts of lower 6 thoracic nerves. This is about the contents which is present inside the rectus sheath. And see here, what are the functions of the rectus sheath? This rectus sheath shakes the blowing of rectus muscle during its contraction and thus increasing the efficiency of the muscle. And next function is it maintains the strength of the anterior abdominal wall. Okay, this is about the rectus sheath. If you have any doubts, comment me. If you like my explanation, please like, share and don't forget to subscribe and don't miss the notifications. Thanks for watching.